Welcome back to Tito's World. I have just watched minutes ago Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And these are my first thoughts. Um, there wasn't anything particularly surprising. I mean, I had heard about all the leaks, so I knew what to expect, and they were all there. Nothing surprising there. My first reaction, my first thought is, what a mess. I mean, this thing was just poorly thought out and executed from the go. I just can't say that enough. It's like there was no script. They just kind of threw stuff together willy nilly. I have to say this. I At the end of The Last Jedi, why was there any need for a third movie? I've been thinking about this for several days, and I was thinking about it all through this film. Is they killed off the villain, and the first thing that made me think about this is when I thought about they started touting that they were going to bring back Palpatine. Why would you bring back Palpatine? But they killed the villain in the second film. What do you need a third film for? You're done. You know, I mean, that's just he was your big bad through the first two films, and then he was gone. I don't think that was planned. I think that's something that Rian Johnson just decided to do, and I think he did it to be a dick. They talk about at least JJ talks about he's very careful what he says about Rian Johnson and vice versa. Try to make it look like they're both buddies and they're in this together and they're on the same page, but I don't believe that's true. I think there's some rivalry between them, and I think this was The Last Jedi was a stab at JJ, and JJ probably was not ever thinking he was ever coming back to this franchise. I don't think he was anyway. So, yeah, Ryan stabbed him in the back. And he just made his own movie, which doesn't go in the trilogy. I mean, forget about that. We're not here to talk about The Last Jedi. So this movie, poorly thought out fan service, insincere, ineffectual fan service. They brought out characters that didn't make any difference. The characters that they killed, the ones that should have been given a dignified death or a natural death, they didn't really address those at all. That's what the fans were upset about. Bringing back Palpatine doesn't change anything. Showing us Tatooine, that doesn't change anything. They just completely misunderstand what the fans want. What I want. I wanted Luke and Han to not die in the way that they died. Han, he had a story arc, and he went from a rogue to a hero. Respected. He was a general. And he should have died like that. He shouldn't have put him back to where he was from square one and then have him die by the hands of his own child. I mean, that's despicable. Han should have got some kind of noble or, you know, dignified death. And Luke, his life wasn't like that. They should have pulled material, the source material that, excuse me, the source material that Kathleen Kennedy says we don't have. They should have pulled material from the source material and used that. That was like Luke's life. He married Mara Jade. They had children. He had a life. He didn't sit up on a wet rock and, off in some far off planet sucking on sea cow tits. That's not Luke. Crying over, oh, life was hard and everything went bad and I didn't make a difference and I'm just going to sit on this rock by myself and cry. That's not Luke. No, that's not the Luke that never gave up. That's not the Luke that redeemed his father. Luke would never kill his nephew. So having him, act like he's going to do that, it's just all wrong. And so trying to fix it in this film, well, they just ignored him in this film. I mean, apparently his voice was in the end. And that was a big joke. I mean, I heard a lot of voices, but I couldn't pick out a single person's voice individually and tell you who that was. I mean, they were supposed to be all the Jedi. I couldn't pick out Mace Windu's voice. I couldn't pick out. They said Ahsoka was in that group of voices. I couldn't pick out her voice. So she, her voice may well have been there. She got a credit, but I couldn't hear it. What a mess. And annoying things. Lens flares. Oh my God, shades of Star Trek. I couldn't believe that. I really did not expect that. I mean, people made jokes about that was going to be what it was, and I laughed, but I didn't think that was really going to be there. It was. Damn, it was, and it didn't belong there. And at the end, I don't know what to say. I was just disgusted with this whole film. And I know some people are going to like this film, and more power to you. If you can sit down and watch this film and enjoy it, good for you. But I couldn't. Yeah, I don't hold that against you if that's your thing. But for me, it just was just like a final slap in the face. So that's it. That's all I have to say about The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't enjoy this film. I don't imagine I'll bother to ever see it again. And that's my thoughts and reaction to seeing The Rise of Skywalker. Y'all have a good night or good morning wherever you are. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time.